Alrighty. Am I recording? Yes, I am. All right. So today I'm going to be talking about a different type of subject, and we will be talking about some darker topics and everything regarding mental health, eating disorders, things like that. So if you're not feeling up to it today, definitely just try again another day or something like that. I don't want anyone to be triggered by this information or anything like that or feel bad. So just make sure you're in a good headspace for this. But it's really important that we do talk about this. It's something that I try to make really important, especially working with models and everything like that. But I can see how it could, we probably need to have this conversation. So today we're going to be talking about mental health and modeling, and how to keep up your mental health, and just kind of give you guys some realistic, unfortunate parts of the modeling and fashion industry. It's something that I think about a lot and something that I want to keep at the forefront of everything that I do with my models and everything like that. However, it was brought to my attention that, there's some aspects of modeling that can be quite triggering, and I totally understand and empathize with that and can understand that. So I thought I would just kind of talk about it and talk about what that looks like and everything in big agencies and high fashion world and things like that, so that you can best take care of yourself. So first off, let's talk about modeling. Where was I? I'm recording on a different setup today, so I can't really read. Okay, here we go. So most people associate modeling with a very luxurious lifestyles, but in reality, working in the modeling industry can have a huge impact on mental health. It can be extremely unhealthy and toxic. It can be an extremely unhealthy and toxic environment to be in. And there are not a lot of people and laws and groups to help protect models. So it's something that is really sad and unfortunate. Studies in the past have shown that models run a higher risk of developing psychological disorders and report lower life satisfaction compared to other occupations. And 68% of models surveyed by the Model Alliance suffer from anorexia, depression, or both. And 25% of all fashion industry professionals face some kind of mental illness. So it's not just models, but models definitely have been reported to suffer even higher percentages than every professional in the industry. And you have to remember that these statistics are only what has been reported. So these are only models that have reported these mental illnesses. It runs rampant in this industry, and it's very, very unfortunate. So why do models in particular face such scary statistics, right? So there's really three things that it kind of boils down to, which is the toxic environment, which is models, models start at such a young age, usually like 14, 15, sometimes even younger, and they're asked to make lifelong and high risk decisions, and they're, to be honest, just not ready and too young to make those decisions. And starting at such a young age, you really need someone that's going to help you and back you up and guide you through in the right way without exploiting you, which is extremely rare, right? They're also faced with a very fast-paced environment. There's lots of sexual harassment, coercing, bullying, peer pressure, manipulation, scrutiny, parties, drugs, and alcohol, and so much more, including sexual assault and exploitation. There's also the unhealthy standards. So models are faced with the pressure to keep up with trends. They face intense pressure to maintain their measurements, weight, perfect skin, perfect lifestyle, all those kinds of things, which is just unhealthy and unattainable, you know, while models are held to that standard. Then there's also like the stress of just the career in general. You know, fashion and modeling industry is extremely competitive and it's super superficial. You can go from being like extremely fast paced and intense, and then you go to several weeks or months without work. And those are even like established models signed to large agency. You'll work, and then not have work for a few months. And that's stressful because you need money to pay the bills, right? So all of this together is just, you know, a layer of the iceberg as to why models go through this kind of, I don't know what to call it, horrible, why they face all these horrible statistics. Another really important topic that we have to talk about when we talk about mental health is eating disorders and how rampant they run in the modeling and fashion industry, unfortunately. So most of it comes from pressure and toxicity in agencies and clients. And when I'm talking about clients, I mean booking clients such as fashion designers, brands, things like that, right? So an alarming amount of models have been told to lose weight by their agent or agencies. They suggest you to get plastic surgery. When you do lose the weight, they'll congratulate you and tell you that you need to lose more weight, things like that, which are horrible. You know, you read all these accounts of models who have been told to lose weight, and then they come in losing the weight, and then they tell you, oh, we need you to be down to the bone, things like that, which is just terrible. And there have been some places, like I think it's France, that have banned the use of extremely underweight models. But that needs to be something that's kind of like worldwide, and it just hasn't happened yet. The majority of models are considered underweight by their BMI. Clients do not offer a selection of sizes in their clothing, requiring models to maintain unhealthy standards in order to work. And this is a huge one, is like, especially like runway, right? They have a fashion designer that has all these pieces, but they're one size, and you must fit into those size. And of course you want to book the job. So in order to book the job, you have to be that size, which is totally unhealthy. Models are often told they need to lose a certain amount of weight, and if they don't, they will not be booked. And many models encourage other models to use disordered eating and drugs to maintain weight loss and celebrate each other's unhealthy habits, which is really, really unfortunate. And those are some of the reasons why eating disorders run so rampant in the modeling world. And we really need to prevent this and support models who are going through this. So let's talk about the industry and how it's changing, and is it changing fast enough? Fortunately, some types of modeling, like editorial modeling and commercial modeling, have started to have very forward thinking, and they no longer require like the extreme requirements or measurements. And then boutique and alternative agencies are kind of at the forefront of this thinking and have started to infiltrate the old ways of modeling, you know, and now we see these ads like Victoria's Secret having plus size campaigns, or we just saw Victoria's Secret come out with their like seasonal catalog or something like that. And there was only one white model featured, right? And all the rest were people of color, which is wonderful, because for so long it's been the other way around. You know, you have one token plus size person for like an entire campaign, or you have one token person of color, things like that. So it is starting to change, but is it changing fast enough? Probably not. We have seen large industry or large agencies take away the public display of measurements, which is wonderful. But the problem is the measurement requirements are still there in huge agencies. And unfortunately, there's some modeling paths that are still really, really toxic. for example, runway modeling. It's one of the most challenging and toxic environments for models because the extreme requirements and extreme measurements haven't really changed. There are some brands in some areas like France, like I talked about, where you see some diversities, but most high fashion shows still showcase extremely thin and sometimes sickly models, which is not good. And showcasing unhealthy models continues to perpetuate other models needing to be that thin, if that makes sense, which is not good, right? So to be honest with you guys, it just sucks, okay? The industry just kind of sucks, and I'm not really sure how to help you guys besides giving you the information and trying to build you up enough and help you out enough to know that you don't have to change for the industry. But sometimes it comes down to, you know, mental illness and psychological factors that I can't help with. So that's why I wanted to talk about it today and make sure that you knew about these things, because sometimes it might come down to, I can't do this because the industry is so toxic that it will hurt me, right? Now, of course, I want all of you guys to succeed in everything. And I truly do believe that each one of you could succeed in this new wave of modeling. But there does come a point where you will probably be faced or have faced a situation like this already. And it will come down to you fighting through that horrible environment, which is awful. And I don't want that for you guys, but I have to be realistic with you guys that if you want a traditional modeling career, it's going to be really tough, and you're going to have to be very mentally strong to deal with agents and brands and clients telling you that you're not good enough, right? Which is awful. So that's why for me personally, I want to create an environment for you guys that is safe and healthy, a healthy work environment, where if you want to pursue modeling, there's space for you. And it doesn't need to be an extreme measurement that you have to live up to. But if you do want to follow a more traditional career path, then you'll have to be mentally equipped to face that, if that makes sense. And hopefully that does change. So let's talk about ways right now that you can help keep your mind healthy, because comparison is something that happens so much, you know, staring in the mirror and picking apart everything that's horrible about you, things like that. Those are all normal things, but we don't want to do them, right? So here's just a few ways to help keep your mind healthy. And obviously, if you're feeling like your mind is unhealthy, then you need to reach out for professional help or take a break or do whatever you need to do. Talk about it. And also, you guys can always talk to me if you need a safe person to talk to about something. If you're struggling with mental illness or an eating disorder, I'm not a therapist and I'm not a educated professional, but I can help you if you need to talk about it with a friend or someone that you can trust, or if you would like to get resources, I can help you find whatever resources you need. But that being said, please remember to get plenty of rest. If you want to have some daily healthy habits, get some light exercise, get creative, practice your outside hobbies, talk to friends and families, things like that, right? And remember that I think the biggest thing I see in models is comparing yourself, because how can you not? But we need to stop that. We need to remember that we're all different in our own ways, and you don't need to fit yourself in a box that you don't belong in, you know? There is a box for you. Okay, I promise you that. If you're feeling triggered about a certain video or picture or another model, whatever it is, remove yourself from that environment. You know, so if there's a particular model that kind of triggers something, unfollow them. If, you know, runway videos trigger you, then step away and come back when you need to, or, you know, only watch ones that have diversity in the body types or whatever it needs to be, or maybe don't watch them at all. Just stop that activity and do something that makes you feel good, right? And then lastly, develop some healthy coping mechanisms. So something I have learned was that if you put a plan in place, like have an emergency backup plan, right? For when you're feeling low, this will help you do some coping mechanisms. And it's really popular with people with substance addiction or abuse, or alcoholism. Having a backup plan when you're fighting through something that's unhealthy can help you break out of those bad places, right? So for example, your backup plan could be, you know, this is for when you're feeling triggered by something, or something like that. Let's just go with that example, right? You're feeling triggered by something. So your backup plan could be step 1, step away from the activity. You know, step 2, take a break from social media apps for the afternoon. Delete them off your phone if you want. Step 3, go for a walk or play music or have a dance party or call a friend, or, you know, do anything like that. But actually sit down and write down a backup plan and have it there. So when you do feel triggered, pull it out and do the steps. Does that make sense? Try not to turn to like coping mechanisms that make it worse, right? Just have your backup plan just in case, and make sure that you're getting the help that you need as well. Call if you have a therapist, or call a hotline or something like that, right? When all else fails, remember, just ask for help. You can always talk to a therapist or call a hotline. You can find a safe friend or family member to talk to. You can always talk to me. Find your safety backup plan like we talked about, and remove yourself from the toxic or triggering environment. For example, if one day you're in an agency and they are telling you that you need to be to the bone, right? Consider quitting the agency. You know, it's just not worth your life. No job is worth your life, right? There's always going to be a place where you belong just the way you are, okay? Warning signs and how to support others. Now, just remember that these warning signs are like the tip of the iceberg, but I thought I would include some just in case you see some changes in someone that you care about and how you can support them. So some warning signs of a eating disorder or mental illness can be extreme weight loss or frequent fluctuation in weight. You know, talking about some extremes. Everyone fluctuates weight a little bit, you know, depending on the season, depending on their job and their exercise and everything like that. But we look for the big changes, right, that catch your eye. Frequent comments about their weight and looks, a rigid schedule of eating or exercising, loss in interest of hobbies or social activities, low energy or being lethargic, extreme mood changes, inability to carry out daily activities, withdrawn. And just remember, you can check out the links in the email that this video is attached to for more info on warning signs. You can check out all the websites and things like that. But those are just some of the warning signs, you know, that we need to be taking care of our loved ones. How to support them. If you do know someone who has an eating disorder or a mental illness that is preventing them, you know, from healthy coping mechanisms or anything like that. And you have to remember that when we're talking about mental illness isn't something that we, you know, treat and it goes away. And same thing with eating disorders, right? It's something that you have to work on every single day of your life and maintain. So when I talk about how to support them through this, it's not making it go bye-bye, and it's also not continuing the problems, if that makes sense. So here's just some ways on how to support. This will vary from person to person, but these are kind of rules, sorry, I have to sneeze, that I try to live by to make people feel safe. Okay. So don't make comments on physical appearance or congratulate. If you know me, I always say, beautiful, you look gorgeous, at any weight or change that a person might have. Definitely don't comment if someone's like, I just try not to. If someone loses a bunch of weight, say, oh my God, you look amazing, right? Because I don't know what's going on, right? So just try not to make comments on people's physical appearance, especially with models. They already have enough people making comments on their physical appearance, okay? Believe others when they disclose and like that they have something, or they're suffering from something, or dealing with something, recovering, or believe them when they disclose that they're in a toxic environment in their life, right? So if someone comes to you and says, you know, working with Ambers has been really toxic for me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, believe them and give them the space to talk about it. Don't push or accuse people. This isn't going to make people want to open up or want to trust you, because this is a very personal and hurtful thing that they're going through. Let them know that they're supported in any way that you can. And that could just be like, hey, if you ever need to talk, I'm always here. That's it, you know? Tell a safe person who might be able to help. I know a lot of people don't talk to professionals in fear that, in fear of several different things, right? They get committed, they have to go into treatment right away, things like that. You can tell a safe person who might be able to help or provide resources without doing that, you know, without calling like the police or something, right? Maybe a safe person that you both know or something like that. And this will change for people, person to person, you know? And then lastly is just watch for things that trigger them and try to be accommodating to that. That can be extremely helpful to try to accommodate that. You know, someone had brought to my attention that seeing certain videos can be triggering. And so now I know that that's triggering to them, and I can put, when I send the videos like that, I can put, you know, descriptions with the link so that they know what I'm sending them to watch and they can choose what to watch, right? Things like that. So just be accommodating to people. Definitely try to support other models, because you guys are all in this together and it's extremely toxic, okay? So something that I did that I want to share with you guys is I created a petition, and the petition is about a healthy work environment, petitioning for a healthy work environment for all models and fashion professionals. And I want you guys to sign the petition and share it if possible, and see how many signatures we can get. Let's start off with our goal being 100. But I'm pledging this today, and I'm signing the petition. And when I sign the petition, I'm pledging to do this for you guys and to do this forever, right? And I'm going to show it to you guys. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to link it in the email, and this is in black and white, obviously. It says healthy work environment for all models and fashion professionals. And it says, by signing this petition, you are pledging or supporting the following, right? Support a healthy work environment to models and other fashion industry professionals. Provide mental health resources to models and other fashion industry professionals. Remove extreme measurement requirements for models. Ban suggestions of losing weight, plastic surgery, and dieting to models from agencies. Be an ally to the models and fashion industry professionals who face sexual assault, harassment, manipulation, and exploitation every day. Set an age limit of 18 for nude modeling and implied nude modeling work with written consent and agreements. ban the public display of measurements, ban the pressure of maintaining measurements, provide resources for a healthy work environment, create minimum wage for models and fashion professionals, not paying them based on experience, provide training to models and fashion industry professionals, provide a range of sizes and fashion shows, create laws and restrictions on pressuring models to lose weight, and create laws and restrictions that protect models from exploitation, ban the use of extremely underweight models, provide resources to maintain a healthy lifestyle for underweight models, provide snacks, lunches, and lunch breaks on all fashion industry jobs. Agents, clients, creative, I meant to say creative directors, but creative designers and other fashion professionals have a responsibility to models and their peers to manage a safe and healthy work environment for all. So that's the petition. And I did it with change.org. So we can share and get everyone who supports us to sign it. And yeah, hopefully this was somewhat educational for you. Like I said, I'm not a mental health professional and I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor or psychologist, but I am a safe adult that you can talk to if you're facing any of these problems or if you need resources. If you are struggling with an eating disorder or mental illness and you need resources, whatever that may be, just come and talk to me and we can sort that out for you. And I am not going to call the police on you. Okay. If you have any questions or if you want to have a conversation about any of this stuff, feel free to. You can email me or message in the group chat. And I just want all of you guys to be safe and stay mentally healthy, because I know that working in this industry can be extremely toxic and detrimental to your mental health. So just remember that if you don't want to pursue a traditional modeling career because of these things, that is totally okay. Okay. And there is space for you, whatever kind of modeling you want to do. And while working with me and Shorts Models, there will never be pressure to lose or gain weight, maintain certain measurements or anything like that. The only time I use measurements is for clients or a shoot where I'm styling you and I need to know what size you are. And that's how it should be. You know, it should be healthy and a healthy work environment, because we have to remember that this is a work environment. And can you imagine if you worked in an office and these were all your requirements to work in the office? It would just be ridiculous. So let's support each other, sign the petition and share it. Let's see if we can get to 100 signatures. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Please stay safe and I will see you guys next time. I'm going to end this way.